How do we overcome this culture of comparison? Well, I've got 3 ideas for you as we end our time together. The first is this: celebrate the success of others as if it were your own. And now I labeled Romans 12:15 there, rejoice with those who rejoice. It doesn't say be jealous of those who are rejoicing. It doesn't say be envious of those who are rejoicing. No, rejoice with people who are rejoicing, which means that brings us to an idea that there's enough joy to go around. I mean, we don't live in a zero-sum game where if you win, that means I lose. Your victory means my failure. No, we don't. That's not the world God created. The world God created, there's enough joy to go around. And so that means when you see someone successful at work, even if you wish that person was you, go celebrate it as if it was you. Go congratulate them. Go say, I'm so thankful that you got this accomplishment, because that recognizes that there's enough joy to go around. That's the first thing that we can do to push down comparison, is to celebrate the success of others as if it were our own. Here's the second. Refuse to compare your unique story with their unique story. What this means is that we all have our own unique journeys that God is bringing us on. And I don't really know yours to the extent that you do, and you don't know mine. And so when we try to compare ourselves, it really is like comparing apples to oranges. We just shouldn't do it. And we don't get a good comparison from it. So instead, what we can do is celebrate the collective story that we are all a part of. It's the story of what God has done for us. That's something we all share in. In fact, I loved in the song that Roger and the band did, My Story, he says this: if I told you my story, you would hear of hope that wouldn't let go. You'd hear of love that never gave up. You'd hear victory over the enemy. You'd hear freedom that has been won for me. And you'd hear of life that has overcome the grave. But it's not our life, it's God's life. It's what God has done for us. And that's something we all share and can all celebrate in. So that's the first one, or the second one. And the third one is this: trust that God is doing good work in your life too. You see, when we compare ourselves with others, the natural result is jealousy. But when we focus on the good work that God is doing in us, the natural result is gratitude. God has great plans for everybody in this building. Everybody sitting here right now, God has great plans for. And so if we focus on their plans, we miss what God's doing in us. So focus on the good work that God's doing in your story. Saul couldn't do that. Saul got in his mind what David was doing, and it drove him literally crazy. David could do this. David recognized that he was on his own track, his own story with God, and he just focused on that. So hopefully we can too. Let's pray.